Talk Radio WBMC News is next.
At Express Motors, we're working hard to reinvent the used car buying experience. For you, that means a transparent deal on only quality inspected cars by our own mechanics. And great extras like free oil changes, free tows, and discounted service after the sale. We are the buy here, pay here car dealership you can trust. So come see us at 352 West Morford Street in McMinnville. Express Motors, where peace of mind and car buying come together. See our inventory now at expressmotorstn.com.
Every farming operation has a story with a past, present, and future. Farm Credit Mid-America wants to get to know your farm story because we're a lending cooperative owned by farmers. And that's why we offer a range of loans and services designed to help farmers grow and prosper. Because we know why no one knows a farmer like a farmer does. Learn more about Farm Credit Mid-America and some of our farmer stories at fcma.com. Loan subject to credit approval. Additional terms and conditions may apply. Farm Credit Mid-America is an equal opportunity lender.
In the Main Street Journal News, McMinnville will be packed with holiday fun this Friday as families have 2 chances to trick-or-treat in a safe, family-friendly setting. Main Street McMinnville kicks off the day with its annual downtown trick-or-treat, beginning with a special friends trick-or-treat from 10 to 11:30 a.m. for individuals with disabilities or special needs. The main event follows from 3 to 5 p.m. with downtown businesses and nonprofits handing out candy around the Courthouse Square and Main Street areas. Later, the City of McMinnville Parks and Recreation Department will host the 13th annual Trail of Treats from 5 to 6:30 p.m. at the Milner Recreation Center's outdoor walking trail, where local groups will line the path to pass out candy. Both events are free and open to the public, offering a full day of festive Halloween fun across McMinnville. More local news is just a click away at mainstreetjournal.llc. Until next time, I'm Rob Nunley.
This weather is brought to you by Exchange Furniture.
Since 1935, Exchange Furniture Company has been honored to serve Warren and surrounding counties with their furniture needs. We offer quality living room, dining, bedroom suites, and pound for pound the best 2-sided mattresses around. We offer payment options, free delivery, free setup, service after the sale, folks. It's all happening at one place, and that's Exchange Furniture Company, 306 West Morford Street in downtown McMinnville, where we say every day, it pays to do business where business is being done.
I'm Fox 17 Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobus. Our forecast for today starting off damp and a few showers will continue throughout the morning and toward the afternoon. Not raining every hour of the day, but be prepped for it. Have the umbrella ready to go and note that today will be much cloudier than on the sunnier side. Temperatures starting in the low 50s, ending in the upper 50s, so not much gain from sunrise straight through sunset.
Hello, welcome to the Coach Eric Belew Show here on WBMC 97.7 FM. I am Jeff Simmons, the host of the Coach Eric Belew Show, and I have joined with me, if you can see it on our Facebook stream or if you're on YouTube or if you're just listening on WBMC, I have Coach Eric Belew, the Pioneer first-year head coach who is coming off his biggest win yet as Pioneer coach, 50-0. Coach, you ever been a part of anything bigger than that? 50-0. That's big time.
Yeah, we were just really excited about how our players came out and executed. I think there was a lot of frustration on the week before, and they handled that frustration in the right way. They played a complete game. A shutout is always something that we're striving for on defense. So, it was certainly a big night.
Yep. You brought up the point that, anytime that your defense outscores the other team's offense, it's a good night. And, of course, Warren County got a safety the other night, also scored 7 touchdowns. In the midst of scoring those 7 touchdowns, something happened that I don't think it didn't seem like it was something y'all were in the process of trying to do.
Right.
Just kind of happened was, of all those touchdowns scored, I think all but one seniors on senior night. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, and it was every senior that would be eligible to catch a pass, scored a touchdown. That's something we were really excited about, and kind of like you said, it kind of happened organically. I think at the end, letting Sam, kind of spin there at the end was, something that we were trying to do. But I mean, he's he's done a great job, running the ball, in practice, and we gave him his chance, and he took it.
I was gonna say that kid must be doing some work on scout team in practice, because he looked like he knew what he was doing. I saw some transit. I mean, taking some coaching right to left, getting the ball in the outside hand, making some moves, and showed a little bit of burst.
Yeah.
He did not look like a catcher running.
Right. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
On that one. But Coach, we did it's Friday night, senior night. And we talked before that game about the harnessing emotions. We were on the Pioneer pregame show talking about, that it's going to be an emotional night. Did you see your team play with the right amount of emotion during that entire game? Because, obviously 50-0, it seemed like things went well. Yeah. But did you feel like they harnessed it the right way?
Yeah, I think so. And kind of how we came out, the second half and finished, I think, is kind of the tell-all sign of that. You go back to a game like Franklin County, we're up 21-0 at halftime and played a good third quarter, and then we lost focus, towards the end, going up, I think it was 21-0 at halftime, and then finishing the game, scoring more points than we scored in the first half and keeping the shutout going. I think that just kind of showed the resilience and the focus from the senior class that, displayed for the rest of the team.
Yep. I agree. There was something you could tell early that your team was fired up and ready to go, and we're going to hit the video portion of this here in a minute on this first drive, because it did seem like your defense kind of set the tone with a big defensive play with a fumble recovery, and then y'all go in and drive. Now, granted, y'all had the how many times do you rarely? We'll talk when we get on the video. We'll talk about this, but how many times do you ever see you score a touchdown on a pass, get it called back, and then immediately, like 3 plays later, it wasn't the exact same play at all, but the same guy catches the touchdown and it counts. That was nice.
Yeah, I think we crossed the goal line 3 times on one possession. I think Zay got in, and then Xavier got in, and then we threw the ball again to Xavier again. So it was certainly an interesting drive for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say that was a good way to start the game, and of course a good way to finish the game is 50-0, celebrating on the team. I think that one thing I noticed about your team, seeing both teams come out for the second half, was when you're playing well, the weather doesn't matter that much.
Yeah.
And when you aren't, maybe it matters a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Because I heard 2 teams coming out to the field, coming out of the locker rooms, and one of them was super fired up, and they just happened to be up 21-0 at the time. And then I heard another team come out that was like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
I don't like this weather. It got cold, but I think that your team was plenty hot all night.
Yeah, no doubt. If you're moving around and making plays, your body's going to warm up. So, and I think, it was the first cold game across the state. Yep. Every other Friday night's been, it's been a fairly warm, fall, and it's only going to get colder.
Did y'all do anything different on the sidelines? Y'all have anything that y'all had set up, or did y'all just say, hey, go suit up, be ready, and just go play through it?
Yeah, I didn't think it was cold enough to really sit. Now, if we get in one of those situations where it's below freezing, we'll do something, but we're there to play football.
I was gonna say other than the fact that it looked like you had sleeves on your hoodie this time.
Now for me, no, I'm bundling up. Not playing. I've paid my dues. My playing days are over. So I get cold easy anyways. So like this Friday, or excuse me, this Thursday. The way the temperature's going to be, I'm probably going to be pretty bundled up.
You'll be ready to roll on that one. Where the Pioneers will be going to Glencliff to take on, I believe, the Colts. Not the Indianapolis Colts, the Glencliff Colts. On Thursday night, it'll be at 7 p.m. You can hear that on Star 107 with Jeff Lee and the voice of the Pioneers and the Warren County Sports Hall of Famer Jay Walker, who will be calling his last regular season Pioneer football game, hoping to get to 5-5. How the Pioneers got to 4-5, we will talk a little bit more about that when we come back, and we'll show you a little bit of video, but we're going to take a quick break here on the Coach Eric Belew Show. When we come back, we're going to do a little bit of video and watch how the Pioneers built their lead.
This is Chris at Reddick Brown Ford in Morrison. We believe car buying should be simple. No gimmicks, no pressure. Just the largest selection of new Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs at the best prices. Our team puts you first, making sure your experience is easy, fast, and stress-free. Come see why more drivers are choosing Reddick Brown Ford. Because when the customer comes first, everything else falls into place. Visit us today or check us out online, reddickbrownford.com, where car buying is simple.
Hello, I'm Ryan Lawrence, and I want your vote for Caney Fork Electric Board of Directors. For over 2 decades, I served as an employee of Caney Fork Electric, and for 27 years, I've been one of you, a loyal member who understands what reliable, affordable power means to our homes and to our future. Now I'm ready to serve in a new way, as your voice on the board. With firsthand experience and a deep commitment to our community, I kindly ask for your vote on November 1st at the Milner Recreation Center. Thank you.
Paid for by Ryan Lawrence.
Where can you go to spend some quality up-close and personal time alone with none other than 3 Star Cinema? Head over to the most affordable and convenient place in town featuring the latest releases fresh on the silver screen. 3 Star Cinema.
Now showing Chainsaw Man the movie, Reze Arc rated R. Black Phone 2 rated R. Regretting You rated PG-13. Tron Ares rated PG-13. And Roofman rated R.
Sparta Street, McMinnville. 3 Star Cinema, where the stars come out at night.
Weekly specials are here once again from our friends at Warehouse Discount Groceries. Now listen to these. Large jack-o'-lantern pumpkins, just $4.99 each. California-grown red seedless grapes, just 99 cents a pound. Preferred Angus beef boneless top round roast, $5.49 a pound. And Gallon Pail That's Smart ice cream, just $6.88. Don't forget about the full-service deli, all at Warehouse Discount Groceries, 835 Smithville Highway on the Strip.
With the changing of the seasons, Middle Tennessee is a beautiful place to be. Now is the perfect time to purchase or remodel your home or to buy that boat, camper, or land you've been looking at. This is Matt Ritchie, loan officer at Security Federal, and I'm here to help make these dreams a reality. So whether you're ready to make a big purchase, invest for retirement, or just establish your credit, come see us at Security Federal. We are the local bank with smiling faces, always happy to help you. See why we are known as the friendliest bank in town. Security Federal, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Members of Caney Fork Electric are invited to attend the Cooperative's annual membership meeting Saturday, November 1st at Milner Recreation Center, formerly known as McMinnville Civic Center. Voting will be from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. with the business meeting starting at 2 p.m. Cooperative members voting in the director's election will receive a free gift and door prizes will be given away. A free barbecue lunch will be served from 11 a.m. until 1:30 p.m. Entertainment will be provided by Jim and Valerie Gabehart. Make plans to attend the annual membership meeting of Caney Fork Electric Cooperative Saturday, November 1st at Milner Recreation Center.
Welcome back to the Coach Eric Belew Show here on WBMC 97.7 FM, and we're gonna. Hey, it's time to grind the tape. We got the computer set up. We're gonna watch a little bit about how Warren County just took it to the Hustling Tigers of Howard on Friday night over at Nunley Stadium. So, if Connor, you want to pull up the video right here where we'll go through, and we're going to start with what I believe was a tone-setting defensive play from your Pioneers coach. Howard takes the ball, or wins the toss. Said they wanted the ball.
Yeah,
they want to score. They didn't say that, but yeah, they didn't pull Matt Hasselback on that one. But they did say that they wanted the ball, so they get the ball. They get out to the 36-yard line, and then I think your defensive back out here makes a tremendous play on the edge.
Yeah, Carter Lee's he's just getting better and better every week. You know, he forces the fumble here with the strip, and then falls onto the ball. You know, that's something that Coach Harris does a great job of working. You know, we do turnover circuits every week. You know, we work pursuing to the football, and, you know, by the time he gets possession, you know, you've got, you know, roughly 9 guys in the shot, which is what you want.
Yep.
You know, and that's just this great play.
Not just 9 guys in the shot, like you said. I mean, yeah, everybody's in that area. Not just 9 guys in the shot, but a pretty fired up sideline right here from the Warren County, who sees the ball, get ball, and ready to go on offense. And Coach y'all's offense did not take long to work its way into scoring position.
Yeah, you know, this is you know, kind of a new formation that we try to throw in, try to have a different look, you know, every week. But, you know, Raul stepping up, you know, getting some carries, you know, at tailback, you know, with the injuries we've had. You know, I think he averaged over 5 yards a carry, which is something that we certainly, strive for, and that was big time.
Yep. I mean, get behind the sticks on I believe, a holding penalty to start the game, but then Raul churns his way for 13 yards, gets y'all's yardage back, and then, of course, I think on third down here in a couple of plays, you go back to Raul again. I think he just goes right back to work.
Yeah. He just plays with so much effort, and I love that kid. I wish we were going to have more years with him.
Yep. And, of course, he's one of the kids on your team that has now earned a scholarship offer to Maryville alongside teammates Isaiah Robledo and Xavier Simmons. And close, I think that was Isaiah making a move down the field on that. And then, of course, now you're in the red zone and gives you a chance to go back to the passing game. Coach, we've talked about this all year. The timing of your routes when they're on, y'all are really, really on it. It seems like Brady throws this exactly where you want when you want this ball thrown.
Yeah, he's done a really good job of being more comfortable and throwing on the run, which he had a couple, Friday night that got away from him. But it's the same formation that when we're giving Raul the ball, and to have those looks where you can keep the same feel of the play, but then you've got those athletes that you can distribute the ball to in the perimeter. I mean, it just. When you have guys like that, sometimes it makes play calling really easy.
Yeah, it's always funny to me. Like you see the receivers catching on the sidelines, and 90% of the time you're like, oh, he's just going to go right out of bounds. Isaiah Robledo does not know out of bounds. Yeah. He just knows to try to score. And as we talked about a little bit, he might have scored right here.
Yeah,
don't give it to him. Get down to the 1 yard line, and then all of a sudden you got to do a little bit of a multiple scoring right here. Might have thought you had it with Isaiah. Might have thought you might have had it right there, which I think they might have piled you up pretty well right there. Then was this where y'all go to the play action? No,
I think this is where Zay gets in, but we get called for. I'm not really sure what happened there.
Was this on? I mean, it was only a 5 yard penalty. Maybe an illegal formation. I don't know. I have no idea on that one. And then so Zay gets in. You've scored once, but that didn't count. You leak out Xavier,
which we call that play Waffle House. I let Xavier name that one.
Well, it worked really, really well. And then, of course, again, too, we get another penalty here. And this was the one where I asked Chris Cope, I said, how expensive was that touchdown for you? He's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, you fired up the cannons on that one. We got the fireworks on that one, and it didn't count. So he was like, oh, it's all right. We had a good time. Hey, by the way, shout out Chris Cope. And,
that was great.
The fireworks before the game, and then the fireworks after the touchdowns on there, because eventually here, now that's an underrated. To me, that's an underrated play that just happened. You've scored twice. You've had them called back. Now you're at the 16-yard line. That's not the yardage you want in a goal-to-go situation. For y'all to go back and get yourselves in a pretty good position right here, what does it say about the trust of the routes, everything that y'all are doing right there, and, of course, making some extra yardage after the catch?
Yeah, that's a route combination that we thought that, we felt good about this week, getting the ball to Chris, and it's well executed. Chris does a good job of sitting down in space there and getting what he can get.
Yep, and then, of course, he ends up over 100 yards in receiving for the game, so congratulations to Chris. Again, just making big plays out there. Robledo's always making some pretty big plays. Y'all love that. Yeah. Y'all kind of I don't want to put it out for everybody. We're 9 games of the season. If you've not been watching Warren County film, then you need to know they will that Brady's got a pretty good hard count.
Yeah.
Buys you 4 extra yards and 4 extra yards here down on the goal line by getting a jump.
Yeah, I think that's when you send Zay in motion, I mean, you've got to be able to react fast when he gets the ball. A lot of that goes to how effective Zay's been, and it forces people to be out of position.
Yep. So you've all this back and forth from being down to the 1 yard line, back to the 16-yard line, gets you back to the 40-yard line on 3rd and goal, and why not go to your big man on the outside again? Because Xavier Simmons finds himself wide open.
Yeah. He's just super effective. He had a great job or had a great game, defensively, and then, excited to reward him and get him in the end zone there.
Now, is Isaiah giving, or is it, I don't know if this is Isaiah or Chris out there on that outside. Is he giving Zay or is he going to be giving Xavier a hard time that he might have took his touchdown away? Because it looks like he won inside right there.
Yeah, probably so.
He's probably going to say, hey, that was my touchdown. But And then Xavier does a little dance, and we have a good time on there. And then Looper ends up adding one of his. I think he hit 6 extra points. Had one blocked on the other night.
Yeah.
On that one. Any concern with the extra point blocks? I know y'all are pretty good at it, but I think y'all have had a couple down here and down the stretch. A talking point for this year?
Yeah, that's something, and it's kind of been multiple issues. Like we thought that, and it's the hold. Sometimes it's like that one was the trajectory of the kick. It was too low. Whether it was, a bad snap, a bad hold, but certainly that's something that we want to be. 99%. By the end of the year. That's something that we certainly are going to have to get fixed.
Yeah, well, Looper does bounce back, Looper comes out, puts y'all in good, puts them in field position. Or actually, I thought he was going to land that kick about at the 1 yard line and really back them up, but he gets a touchback, and then y'all get them in advantage defense situation here with a big hit in the backfield.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the physicality that we're trying to install here, and I think all that goes to Coach Harris and the mindset that he's put into our defense. We're just thrilled that they're really buying into that.
Now we came into the game and you had talked about this, and of course Howard had scored 45 points in their latest game, including I think they had number 6 Bradley, who had over 200 all-purpose yards. So y'all knew this was for people that are out there that 50-0. This was a team that could score some points and had put up points and had played one possession football games every single game other than the game that they blew out somebody. So this was not a football team that you were sitting there and thinking, they're just going to – this wasn't a thought process of we can just roll over this team.
Right.
But once y'all did, y'all got going on that one. Big hits like this helped it, and then, of course, big plays from your safeties right after here. Gillespie just making a heck of a play, a heck of a break on the ball.
Yeah, he's a great leader on the back end. He just always seems to be in the right spot, and then he, is in the right spot, then makes the play.
Yep, and of course, got to always thank the rush on that too, because it looked like y'all are about to get home. Gets him throwing the ball, but like you said, Gillespie's just right where he needs to be on that play. That's just a heck of a play, because it's not if he doesn't make a break on that, that's probably going to be a first down.
No doubt.
Yep. Oh, Coach.
I'll let them hash that one out.
That's going to be a fight in the Robledo house on that one.
You can see Chris on the film. He's
pretty angry about it.
Yeah.
Now, well, we're going to talk about this one for about 5 seconds, because this was the one. Coach, I know. I'm sorry. Putting you in a bad spot here. We can get off the film for a second because we're going to go to break after we have this conversation. On this play right here, y'all switched from having Brady in. You had run a play right before where y'all moved Chris in motion, threw the ball off the motion handoff, and almost had a touchdown. And then y'all come out. And there's a rule in high school football that if you want to put somebody where Brady was lined up on the play, he has to come to the numbers, I believe, and then go out.
Correct. If he's coming from the sideline.
If he's coming from the sideline, which he was not.
No, he was.
Because he was the quarterback.
Yeah.
So he goes and lines all the way down at the bottom of the field, because you're hiding people or stuff like that. This was not any kind of attempt at diversion or anything like this. The official who was there knew this.
Yep.
Let him line up. Knew he was on the line of scrimmage, and your play kind of gets shot in the foot by the official from the back that says, "Whoa. They can't do that."
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we get the hanky comes up, and they're like, "Oh, no flag there." But at that point, is that one of those situations where like, yeah, it doesn't matter anymore because the whole point of our progression of how we were calling the plays right there was we wanted to be able to snap that quickly and go on that.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yes. And that's
I saw you were a little fired up.
Well, and that's why we keep Brady in the personnel, number one, because if Brady's on the field, you can't wildcat personnel. Usually you don't have the time to, make that adjustment. But then also sometimes people think that the quarterback's coming off the field, and really he's just going to line up at receiver. And it's not like a deception thing. It's just people lose sight of him, lose focus on it. But things happen.
Things happen. Now, granted, y'all didn't go backwards on that one, but I did. I knew that I knew you'd have some thoughts on it because I saw it in there, and I knew what he was trying to call, but I also knew that we had done the right thing on that, and it was some of those like, hey, your buddy over here knows that we did it right.
Right.
And you're kind of, so I thought it was really, it's just one of those things where really I'm just trying to get Coach Belew to say something he probably shouldn't, which I won't do.
I will during the break.
All right, well, we are going to take a break here on the WBMC 97.7 FM. When we come back, we're going to see more touchdowns from the Pioneers from the Howard win.
Goodbye, ain't that a shame? My tears feel like rain.
Why don't you head over to Chicken Chef and enjoy a fresh, made-to-order meal, or choose from the all-time favorite like the Chicken Nugget Dinner. Stop in for breakfast, order right off the menu with sausage, gravy, fresh homemade biscuits, or try their delicious tenderloin, egg, and cheese biscuit, just to name a few. Whatever your taste buds call for, you're sure to find it at Chicken Chef. They've been serving Warren and surrounding counties for over 40 years. Stop in today, Chicken Chef on the Strip in McMinnville. You can call your order in to go at 473-5020.
Jagger, don't open the... Oh, great. Mom and Dad are going to kill us. Look at the floors. Oh, no. I know. Call Poppy. He can make this all go away.
What happened?
Brian did it. Rush did it.
Whether you need to fix your floors for everyday family fun, a new home, or just an easy upgrade, we cover it all.
Like us on Facebook or go to oldsouthflooring.com. Call my family today, 473-5764. That's OLE, not OLD.
Come on in and see how good it feels.
You'll always be treated right when you arrive at Ed Rogers Chevrolet with the new Chevrolet and vehicles, plus a great selection of quality used vehicles. At Ed Rogers Chevrolet, there's also an outstanding service department, proud to be family-owned for over 50 years.
So come on in and see how good it feels.
Get that great feeling of saving money today at Ed Rogers Chevrolet in Sparta and EdRogersChevy.net.
It's auction time in Tennessee on Saturday, November the 8th at 10 a.m. We'll be at 1066 Fultz Cove Road near Viola selling the Wyman Gillum Estate. This 78.41 acres offered in 3 tracts has a shop building with an upstairs apartment that has a great view. We will also sell a 2001 Dodge Dually, a 1997 Ford F-350, and lots of other equipment, tools, and antiques. For more info, go to dmsimpson.com or call 473-LAND.
Members of Caney Fork Electric are invited to attend the Cooperative's annual membership meeting Saturday, November 1st at Milner Recreation Center, formerly known as McMinnville Civic Center. Voting will be from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. with the business meeting starting at 2 p.m. Cooperative members voting in the director's election will receive a free gift and door prizes will be given away. A free barbecue lunch will be served from 11 a.m. until 1:30 p.m. Entertainment will be provided by Jim and Valerie Gabehart. Make plans to attend the annual membership meeting of Caney Fork Electric Cooperative Saturday, November 1st at Milner Recreation Center.
At Ben Lomond Connect, we are blessed to hear so many positive comments on the great internet connections that we provide. But behind those multi-gig fiber connections stand great teams. Teams that work with the public daily, like our customer service reps, install repair guys, and the local 24/7 customer support center. To others that work behind the scenes, like accounting, engineering, central office, and more. As our CEO likes to say, it takes all of us. If you haven't joined our Ben Lomond Fiber family, we would love to serve you. Call your local BLC office today or go to benlomondconnect.com. Great teams, great connections, Ben Lomond Connect.
WBMC and translator W249DQ McMinnville. WBMC.
All right, we're back here on the Coach Eric Belew Show and got plenty of explanation in the break about what was going on over there. Now, we're jumping right back into the film because at the time, Warren County was leading 7-0 when we got out there, but they are going to end up building this to 21-0. So we're going to get back onto the film, Connor, and show y'all how they built this lead to 21-0 by halftime. Coach, this is after y'all had gotten the ball back on the Gillespie interception, got yourself into the red zone, and you said a little bit about rolls, hard running. I think this was another example of it. Or actually, this is a pass play. I should have known where I was talking about. This is some example of Rawls hard running.
Yeah, he just, sometimes you just want to give it to your most physical guy and let him run. Yeah, this was one where I felt like he had crossed the plane, but
well, they give it to him on the next one.
Yeah, you want to reward him. He runs that hard and gets to the inch line. want to do your best to make sure that guy ends up getting credit for the touchdown.
Yeah, and of course, I think y'all's offensive line and everybody on the team made sure of it because there was some questions. There were some questions like, hey, well, let's just push him 3 yards into the end zone and make sure.
Yeah, I think that's Johnny
touchdown.
Garcia that's pushing him in there at the end. That's something that, our O-line coaches, Martin and Cope, have really tried to push on those guys.
Yeah, and Mr. Energy himself, Johnny Garcia.
That's right.
Yeah, there you go.
Juice coordinator.
The juice coordinator himself. So 14-0. Then we're going to skip ahead to play 44 where it starts the second quarter, and then y'all are already on the move again, have forced a punt. Coach, if I have the yardage correctly on this, on my stat tracking on this, and I think Coach Harris probably would have maybe he could get a little bit closer because I know he does all the defensive stat tracking. I had y'all I had Howard at -8 yards of rushing for the game.
Yeah.
So I think y'all are a negative yardage rushing night, which usually bodes well for your defense and your ability to win the game.
That's a good formula.
We talked about correlation on the show last week. What's the correlation of holding a team to negative yardage and winning?
It's probably pretty high.
All right, so Warren County's back on the march in the second quarter. 40 pass again in Howard territory, and y'all just continue to seem like had the running game, had the passing game working a little bit. This was a third down that y'all needed, and I think y'all pick up. Yep.
Yeah, Zay's another one that, we just try to be really creative on how we get him the ball, putting them here at wing, but then bringing 2 guys out, on the perimeter. It's just if everybody's going to key on him, we got to be creative, and he just does a great job buying into those things.
Yep. I mean, right there it seems like in the span of 2 plays, you use him in 2 different ways.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he might have just been a decoy to run the defense off of. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah. All right, Coach, so you've not shown this look a ton, but I think y'all did it a lot in 7-on-7 with the triple stack down here.
Mm-hmm.
And so, again, is this a numbers situation? Kind of counting them up and seeing where you got because it looks like they're playing you 3-on-3 down here.
Yeah, it's no secret. I mean, teams know, but it's. If they go 3 over 3, we're not going to throw the screen. We're going to run the ball. So this is an RPO, run pass option, and Brady has the choice. He just counts before the play. If we got an advantage on the perimeter, we'll throw it, and if not, we'll hand it off.
Yeah, and I think again, just walk me through as an offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
I just did that thing, Connor, where I started the sentence 7 different times before I could actually ask what I was going to ask. In this situation, how many times are you running certain things with an idea of, hey, mark this down and figure out maybe we can go back to this later?
Mm-hmm.
Because as I watch this play develop and how Howard reacts down here on this I feel like this was one of those ones where y'all marked down and said, if we want to, we can go back to this. And I think we have the post to Chris if they run it the same way. Because how they release with the leverage there, I'm sitting there thinking if y'all mark that down, you're probably sitting there like, hey, let them know if we want to go to this, we got it.
Yeah, we have Cope, up top spotting for the offense. Coach Paul Martin's up there too. He's technically the spotter for the defense, but he gives good insight on all 3 phases of the game also. So a lot of that kind of comes back to our staff. There's only so much that I can see, but they're all really, really good about, hey, look, we had this. Let's come back to that. They all collectively do a really good job of helping me, stay up to date with all of those things.
Yeah, I've always thought it was curious. I always thought it was interesting how many times a play caller, and I guess as you being the play caller on this, is how many times you run something to set up something else later in the game, and I think it's always a cat and mouse game on that. Don't want you to give away too many of your secrets because I'm sure you have a couple pet formations or pet plays that you're saying I'm only running this because I want to see what you're going to do because I'm going to get you in the fourth quarter on it.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody's got set up plays. And I think kind of going back to this formation, we were in this formation a lot. And we've got 3 or 4 plays that we really like. Out of this look, and one of them certainly is giving the ball to Raul and letting him go to work.
Yeah, we should mention on this drive that y'all going through. We started it on a big third down conversion. This is a fourth down. This is a fourth down play, and y'all showed up 14-0 in that situation. Was there ever even a thought process, or did you feel pretty comfortable about like you said, just giving it to roll and let him mash for 2 yards.
Yeah, at that point he was averaging, over 5 yards a carry. And, we just – a lot of these situations we want to bet on our players, and they did a great job executing.
Eric Belew, the math man down there on the sidelines, says, hey, if he's getting 5, I think he can get 2.
Yeah, I hope Madewell's impressed by my math.
And then again, too, that conversion helps y'all set up for what is going to be an eventual Pioneer touchdown that lets y'all lead to take a 21-0 lead. Jackson Clark getting out there on the edge a little bit. I think is that his first catch of the season?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
I think. Which we have so many fullbacks, it's hard to keep up.
Yeah, between him, Gator, and then of course Xavier can roll out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but good play by him, getting y'all into space, getting y'all down towards the goal line. Of course, I'm sure he was wanting to score that. He would get into the end zone later, but Isaiah was the one that got the payoff on this one and scores to put y'all up 21-0.
Yeah, I think that one was Chris.
Oh, well, that was Chris. Yeah. You're right. Sorry, I apologize. Robledo's, my apologies. I do the thing where Jay does occasionally, where I'll just say Robledo, and I just it's covered. So Chris Robledo gets y'all up 21-0 at halftime, and at that point, feeling pretty confident about your game. Ooh, man, that one.
I think that's the one that got blocked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a knuckleball on that one, but 21-0. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to show you all the touchdowns in the second half that got Warren County the 50-0 win. We will be back on the Eric Belew Show. Should be all right. That should be.
Captain D's Seafood is ready to set and gobble for this Thanksgiving. Captain D's invites you to come in and purchase a ticket for a little piece of the action that's going on. Raffle tickets are $5 each, and the winner will receive a Thanksgiving starter kit worth $50. Now, this includes a turkey or half ham, all the fixings. And so ticket sales will start September 29th, and the winner will be announced on November 10th. And the good thing about it is the proceeds will be going towards Christmas for children in need. So go by and see your local Captain D's Seafood Restaurant.
McMinnville, you're a part of me. McMinnville, McMinnville, Tennessee. There's nothing like you anywhere around. I'm proud to say you're my hometown.
This is Christy Partain with Graves Family Pharmacy, and we check all the boxes when it comes to family, community, and patient care. We have the best drive-thru in town where you will be greeted with a smile, and you can talk to us while being fully protected from the sun and the rain. Why go to a big box store when you can talk with local people that truly care about you and your family? Follow us on Facebook and feel free to ask questions. Come see us on Main Street at Graves Family Pharmacy, where you are much more than just a name and date of birth.
McMinnville, Tennessee.
At Pioneer Building Supply, we're your one-stop shop for lumber, tools, and building supplies. Whether you're tackling a major renovation or just need a few materials for a small project, we've got you covered. From framing to finishing touches, we have the products and expertise to help you get the job done right. Stop by and see us today at 231 Northgate Drive, Suite 250, McMinnville, or give us a call at 931-473-7777. Our friendly, knowledgeable team is always ready to help you with whatever you need for your next project. For 50 years, Pioneer Building Supply has been the trusted name in construction materials. We've built our reputation on quality, service, and the commitment to your success. Pioneer Building Supply, building your dreams since 1975.
Pioneer Building Supply.
Pioneer Building Supply, where good business make good friends.
Pioneer Building Supply.
Need service for your Ford but short on time? Hi, I'm Service Manager Jordan Shank at Reddick Brown Ford, where we make it easy with complimentary pickup and delivery. Whether it's routine maintenance or repairs, we'll come to you, take care of your vehicle, and bring it right back, all without interrupting your day. Experience stress-free service from a name you trust. Schedule your appointment now at ReddickBrownFord.com. Reddick Brown Ford, where convenience meets quality care.
Hello, this is Mark Marr with McMinnville Police Department, reminding you to get a designated driver if you're planning on drinking alcoholic beverages. Also, if you see a vehicle not operating in a safe manner, please call 911 to help us keep our streets safe.
Well, it's 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready. Now go, cat, go, but don't you step
You were wearing some blue suede shoes over there on Friday night, Coach?
No, I was wearing some ones, though.
Some ones? There, boy. All right. Well, we've already showed you 3. We showed you 1. We showed you 2. We showed you 3 touchdowns. We'll show you some more. But before we get into the second half on the film, we have to go watch one play that I did almost forgot, but I cannot go with that. This was one of the most impressive non-fourth down pickups I've ever seen on this. I think everybody in the entire state. Did you get fooled for a second on this one as well, where you get caught up with what happened that you realize like, oh, we didn't get the sticks?
Oh no, I was not happy.
But still a pretty incredible catch on this one, because this is fourth down. You're in that hurry up situation there at the end of the half, trying to put another touchdown on the board. And don't get the touchdown, don't get the conversion, but you get one of the most incredible catches I think I've seen, the one-hander from Isaiah Robledo. Or wait,
from Chris. Yeah.
Chris, yeah. Sorry, Chris, my bad.
He just they're freaks, you know. And me and Chris have an inside joke all the time about I'm going to buy him some cutter gloves, which you know, he and all the kids are like, oh, those are terrible, stuff like that. But I guess he got me on that one. That's impressive.
That is an unreal catch, and I think Brent Carr. We had a couple of different people had some pretty good photos of that, but man, that was incredible. Now let's get up to the play 93, because get to the second half and y'all get rolling again. Right off the kickoff, y'all go down the field, and when you get into the red zone or get into a goal to go situation, you've used that Wildcat, you've used Christopher at it a little bit. This time you used Isaiah. You've even, I think, direct snapped it to Raul a few times. Is there a feel thing about what you're looking for right there, or is it just, you know, kind of that week, that guy type deal?
Yeah, you know, I think some of it is how fresh the guy is. You know, I think, you know, you get inside the 10 and sometimes it's just about will, you know, and you want to have the freshest guy back there that can so really that when it comes to Chris and Zay, I mean, for the most part, they're pretty similar. So it's kind of who I feel, you know, has the most energy, you know, at the point to which both of them always play their tails off, you know, it's but then it just kind of felt like, you know, rolling with Zay there, and he did a great job getting his pad level down and getting in.
Yep. And here on the third down on this one, and you said it, as you said in the break, did you put every single offensive lineman that y'all have on the team on here?
Well,
maybe a couple H-backs?
Had 2 H-backs, 2 tight ends, and an extra lineman.
Oh, what is that formation? What would that be? A 2-2, or is it a 22 or a 32?
Yeah, I guess 22, but or
22.
You could call it 23 if you count the other lineman as a tight end.
Yeah,
but
you hear a lot of 11 personnel, maybe some 12 personnel.
Yeah.
You don't really hear about the Jumpman 23 personnel very much, but it works to get you in the end zone because Isaiah gets put, like you said, gets down and gets through on that. And again, too, your defense ends up coming up with a pretty big play right after the fact because they get a high snap. And nobody quits on the ball and goes and gets it for you. Who was that ended up coming up with that recovery?
I think it's Raw. Is that Raw?
It might be Raw that just flew through there. Yeah. I think their quarterback thought he had it and he didn't. It kind of looked like Kentucky trying to get the ball the other night against Tennessee and just like, let's not get this ball and see what happens. You get all the way down to the goal line. Unfortunately for y'all, that you don't get the score, but you put Howard on the goal line because they recover a fumble at the 1 yard line, and not the best situation for you. But when they take the ball over at the 1 yard line, and just so happened that the last time they snapped the ball, it went over their quarterback's head, that you might be thinking, wonder what's going to happen here. Yeah. And sure enough, right out the back of the end zone for 2 points for the Pioneers.
Yeah, that's tough. You know, you feel it's just snap exchanges, knock on wood, is just something that can really make or break a game.
Yep. And at this point, you're not quite in the mercy rule because of the extra point that we talked about that got blocked on there. You're 29-0. They're having to kick off from the 20. We've seen this so much this year. They won't kick it deep. Isaiah's back there. Chris is back there. And then all of a sudden they start I've seen this more from your team in probably the last 2 or 3 weeks than ever before. Y'all are getting at some point they're going to get a reputation as like just onside kicking against Warren County because you don't want to kick it to their upbacks either. Because you get a play like this from Raul that's just a pretty incredible. I mean, on the run catch first, and then a little oopty. I don't, man. That's a crazy athletic play from a middle linebacker.
Yeah. I mean, and this is something we spend a lot of time on. We do what's called field and practice a couple times a week. We're just firing footballs at him, and he does a great job implementing what we coach him to do. Catch it and get vertical. Makes a huge play.
I mean, it's a tremendous play from that young man, and get y'all into a great situation again where y'all are right next to the goal line, where y'all pretty much spent the entire second half, and just start going and pounding away. And I think this might have ended up in the is this the Jackson Clark touchdown drive? I
think so.
In fact, I think at one point Brady starts directing traffic in the backfield to make sure he has who he wants because with Roll, I think it was Roll and Jackson, and at that point, is it almost interchangeable for you if you wanted it to, that one of them could just play fullback and one of them could play the running back?
Yeah, they've done a great job kind of picking up on that. We started the year with 1 million fullbacks and 1 million tailbacks, and now we've just with injuries, they're having to kind of take on some different roles. So we were thrilled about how they executed that.
Well, Jackson was the up man. He got the handoff, and he scored to put you up. At this point, 36-0. Warren County is absolutely rolling. And, again, you talked about it a little bit on the kickoffs, how well Gavin Looper's done for you, and then your team rallies to the ball and gets it out again.
Yeah, it's just anytime we can create a turnover, and that goes back to all the work that the staff and Coach Harris has put emphasis on with, turnover circuits and turnover drills. It's just it's great when it shows up on a Friday.
Yep. At that point, that's 5. I said before that we did the defense had 4 turnovers, but I was incorrect. It's 5.
Yeah, 5, yeah.
Yeah, 5 because that's the third fumble recovery, and you end up with 2 interceptions as well. Mm-hmm. Plus side of the field, Coach, you got to feel good about any time that you're driving and it doesn't say WC 30, it says Howard for 30.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Y'all start getting onto the march again, and Raul doing some good job getting you getting into good situations in the of course the holding penalty didn't help you on that one, but Chris take care of that.
Yeah, it's the screen game for Chris has just been really successful because you just get him in space and look what he does. I mean, it's
incredible.
Yeah, it's just impossible to tackle.
It's so funny because I feel like, again, too, we've had this conversation multiple times this year on the Eric Belew show that coaches always focus on north and south. Mm-hmm. Get north and south. Got to get north and south. And sometimes you just got to turn that switch off in your head because you see something like this where Chris just you're like, oh, just go, and then he's finding ways to go east and west and just churn up yardage.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And even the finish there, not letting one guy bring him down. Yep. Just an excellent player.
Yep. So that one, the skis got a little bit over the skis on this one. Put y'all back a little bit on this one, and I think that it's still pretty confident about what y'all can get done in these situations. Get Brady back in there at quarterback, and then get him on the move, I believe.
Yeah, this is a really good job by John doing it's a rub route. Everybody runs this.
Yep.
But we tell those guys, once they sit down at their depth, they've got to work flat and get into the end zone. And John sits it down and then works flat to become a second option for the quarterback. I mean, just John doing what he's coached to do gets him a touchdown, and he's just another one of those guys that he's invested in what we're trying to, accomplish. And, you have great results when you have a kid like that.
Yep. And of course, Brady doing extending this for as long as he absolutely possibly can. Howard had some pretty good pass rushers on that defensive line and has a guy breathing down his neck, but he composes himself. And what you just said, I think, is a huge thing for a senior quarterback, a senior receiver right here is you can trust that you can throw this ball as you're being hit if you know your guy's doing what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
There's supposed to be a guy there, so I'm going to throw it on a little bit of blind faith. Now, I think Brady can see him at this point, and he just, yep. And then John Gillespie gets a touchdown and helps y'all build, at that point, a 43-0 lead. And, Coach, you still weren't done. You still weren't done at this point. Now, at this – you got to let that one go out of bounds, buddy. Just, Coach, at this point in the game, what are you trying to accomplish on the sideline? What are you stressing to your team? What are you stressing to your coaching staff? I'm assuming that it's, hey, we got to keep playing.
Yeah, to not lose focus. We still have a goal. And if we're going to start rolling those young guys in, the level of execution, that standard can't drop any. Excuse me. And I think the defense did a great job of those young guys being when they're supposed to be, and it's so valuable to get those guys reps, on a Friday night, and we're really excited that those guys got those opportunities.
Again, you're past it. You're
got behind him there.
Yeah, got a little bit right here. The pass rush is getting after it, and then a kid like Carter Lee, and we've talked about his growth beyond throughout this season to sit down on this route and understand how impressed are you with the things that he's been able to accomplish from going from at one point it seemed like we went down to Gordonsville and he was running some JV, and now all of a sudden he's been your starting corner most of the year after Gillespie got hurt early in the year, kind of got in there, and then he has not come out of the lineup, and I think might lead your team in interceptions now.
Yeah, this is a great read. His eyes are on the right guy, so he once that number 2 receiver begins to work out, that's where he stops sinking. And, it literally couldn't have been a better rep. He squeezes number 1, and we call that zone exchange. He exchanges the guy to the safety and then makes a play, and that's a kid that has never played football before up until this year. He just he's just so coachable and so moldable, and he's going to continue to get better, through the rest of this year and next.
Yeah. That is a world-class zone rep right there. From a young man who, like you said, hasn't played a ton of football. All right, so Coach, getting potentially, we don't want to ruffle any feathers here, but potentially a little bit of a look of the future with A.J. Whitman in at quarterback and what he gives you on offense and what he gives you as a guy that can make some plays with his legs, Coach.
Yeah, and he's done a great job this year in JV on extending plays, and then being that extra player in the run game. He runs physical. And we're really excited about the growth that he's had.
Yeah, he is a hard man to bring down in the open field. Of course, I think this one gets called back for holding, but goodness gracious, he's slippery.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's just the growth that he's going to continue to have. He's going to be a special player for us.
Yep, absolutely. And now again, you got the senior in Sam Robinson trying to help you do some things here, and he will eventually get a handoff and take it the distance.
Yeah, that's super exciting for him. Just his story's so unique and special. We're really excited about, what he's going to do for our program just in regards to recruiting. Like, hey, this is a guy that never played, decided to come out his senior year and, just tickled to death.
Yeah, before we show him scoring on this touchdown, can you give everybody a little idea of, again, what you said? You said his story is a unique one. You're a first-year coach. You have and you want to set a standard. You've said this a month of time. We got to be there. Got to do this stuff. So he was not with you in the spring.
Right.
He was not with you with the summer, and then all of a sudden, explain how he ends up being on your team, because in a lot of aspects that would be a no-go.
Yeah.
You weren't with us with the spring. You weren't with us with the summer. This isn't just we can't have somebody join in a week before, but this was a unique situation, and kind of go tell how that happened, and how big it was for everybody on this team to see him score right here.
Yeah, well, he came into my office one day, and he was like, "Coach, I know it's late, but is there any chance that I could play football?" And I asked him, I said, "Well, why do you want to play? Why now?" And his response is something I've never heard before. He said, "I just want to help," And we kind of talked. He was like, "Look, I don't have to play. Like I just want to help, my buddies." And what I had told him was like, "Look, I'll talk to the senior class and I'll see what they think, and we'll let them, make the decision, And I think through those conversations and how they talked about him, I don't want to put, boundaries on every situation. I try to do my best to be fluid because every situation is different. And that's not to say that if there's something like this happens next year, I don't know what's going to happen. But all he has done is help. He's been there every day. He's worked his tail off. And then the opportunity for him to get in the end zone here is something that I'll remember for the rest of my career.
You told me about the story about him, and I thought it was really incredible for, like you said, to have a kid that wasn't doing it for anything more than like you said, I have friends on the team.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can help in whatever I got to do, and he's been helping you on special teams.
Mm-hmm.
But then you get the special play on senior night in which he goes to the distance. Like I said, that does not look like a catcher in baseball running right there.
Yeah, and changes arms. You know, it just kudos to Coach Madewell getting him coached up. That was huge.
Yeah, and then of course too, what was the reaction on the sideline? Because I'm sure everybody on your team was just absolutely amped.
Oh yeah,
in the end zone.
I mean everybody's going nuts, and he's getting all kinds of hugs and stuff on the sideline. I mean it was a special moment.
Yeah. Well, we can get off the camera now. There, Connor. Appreciate you. Yep. All right. So as we wrap up here and wrap up the senior night and everything that happened on there, 50-0 beat Howard. Sam Robinson scores your last touchdown. Jackson Clark rushes for a touchdown. John Gillespie catches a touchdown. Xavier Simmons catches a touchdown. Isaiah Robledo runs for a touchdown. Raul Manis runs for a touchdown. Brady Swallows throws 2 touchdown passes. Hayden Watts blocked for about every single one of those touchdowns. Tony Mathis is in there getting after it on defense. Helped you with the shutout.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Adrian Harris, who was not able to play, was there for the whole thing. And that was 10 seniors who go out with a 50-0 victory.
Yeah.
I mean, proud of them. Can you give me the players of the game as we wrap up today's show?
Yeah, we had Carter Lee, defensive player of the game. You know, forced fumble recovery, interception.
Yep.
And even a couple big hits on kickoff. Had both Robledo's offensive players of the game. They had about the same total offensive output, both having a touchdown.
Yep.
And then Gavin Looper as our special teams player, just by how well he spotted kicks and stuff on kickoff. It's been a huge weapon for us.
Yep. Congratulations to those young men, and you can see them again in action this Thursday night. Go to Glencliff, or if you can't make the drive, listen on Star 107 where Jay Walker and Jeff Lee will be calling the game. Coach Belew, congratulations on the 50-0 win. Try to get to 5-5 now.
That's the plan. Appreciate it.
Thank you.